wake up. You feel motivated. Today is the day you finally change your life. You sit at your desk, armed with a giant cup of coffee and a to-do list the size of a dictionary. You check your emails, you organize your folders, you watch 3 productivity videos on YouTube. You highlight your notes in 4 different colors. Suddenly, it's 9 p.m. You are completely exhausted. Your brain feels like mashed potatoes. You worked hard for 10 hours. But when you look closely at what you actually built, what you actually created, the answer is absolutely nothing. Zero. Zilch. If this sounds like you, stop what you are doing, because you are infected by the modern disease called fake work. Welcome back. I'm BetterStick. In our last video, we talked about how the attention economy is stealing your focus. But today, we are talking about a trap you built for yourself. A trap that makes you feel incredibly busy while keeping you exactly where you are. Society lied to you. They told you that hustling and being busy 24/7 is the secret to success. But being busy without a clear direction is like running on a treadmill to win a marathon. You sweat a lot, you burn energy, but you don't move a single inch forward. Today, we are going to dissect the psychology of productivity. We are going to expose why your to-do list is actually ruining your life. And I'm going to show you the economic principles you need to stop being a tired employee of your own bad habits and start acting like the CEO of your life. Let's start with a concept made famous by author James Clear: the difference between motion and action. To explain this like you're 5 years old, let's pretend you want to lose weight. Motion is researching the best running shoes. Motion is watching a documentary about healthy eating. Motion is calling 3 gyms to ask about their membership prices. Motion feels fantastic. It gives your brain a nice little hit of dopamine because you feel like you are doing something. But here is the brutal truth. Motion will never, ever produce a result. You can research gym shoes for 10 years and you won't lose a single pound. Action, on the other hand, is putting on your old, ugly shoes and actually running for 10 minutes. Action guarantees a result. Why do we love motion so much? Because our brains are terrified of failure. If you just plan, brainstorm, and organize, you can't fail. Nobody fails at writing a to-do list. We use planning as a beautiful, socially acceptable form of procrastination. You aren't being productive, my friend. You are just hiding from the real work.
Now let's talk about that sacred piece of paper on your desk, the to-do list. Most people treat their to-do list like a buffet. They look at 15 items and what do they pick first? They pick the easiest, most useless tasks. Reply to emails, check. Dig out the trash, check. Reorganize the desktop folders, check. Every time you tick a box, your brain gets a spike of cheap dopamine. You feel like an absolute productivity god. But at the bottom of the list, hiding in the shadows, is the one task that actually matters. The giant project, the business plan, the difficult conversation. By the time you reach the important task, your energy battery is completely empty from doing fake work all day. So you say, I'll do it tomorrow. This is a terrible economic strategy for your life. In economics and management, there is a concept called the Eisenhower matrix. It separates tasks into 2 categories: urgent and important. Urgent things demand your attention right now. Phone calls, texts, a coworker asking a question. They are loud, but usually they don't matter in the long run. Important things are quiet. Reading, learning a new skill, building your future. They don't scream at you. If you don't do them today, nobody will shout at you. But if you ignore them for 5 years, your life will be a disaster. Fake work is letting the urgent things bully the important things. You spend your whole day putting out small fires instead of building the fireproof house. So how do we fix this? How do we stop being a hamster on a wheel? We use the most powerful law in economics, the Pareto Principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. Over 100 years ago, an Italian economist named Vilfredo Pareto noticed something weird. 20% of the pea pods in his garden produced 80% of the peas. He looked at the country's wealth and found the same thing.
20% of the population owned 80% of the population. This rule applies to almost everything in the universe. You wear 20% of your clothes 80% of the time. You use 20% of your apps 80% of the time. And most importantly, it applies to your work. 20% of your tasks will create 80% of your results.
If you have a to-do list with 10 things on it, 2 of those things are worth more than the other 8 combined. The secret of highly successful people isn't that they do more, it's that they ruthlessly ignore the 80% of useless tasks. They are extremely lazy about things that don't matter, so they can be intensely focused on the few things that do. This brings us to our final economic concept for today. You need to understand the difference between shallow work and deep work. Shallow work is what 99% of people do. It's work you can do while distracted. Copy-pasting data, answering casual emails, attending meetings without saying anything. Shallow work is easily replicable. A smart high schooler could do it. In a few years, artificial intelligence will do it for free. If your entire day is filled with shallow work, your economic value is dropping to 0. Deep work is the exact opposite. It's tasks that push your brain to its absolute limit. It requires 0 distractions, no phone, no tabs open. Writing a book, learning to code, designing a complex strategy. Deep work produces immense value. Because it is so hard, very few people can do it. And in economics, when something is rare and valuable, its price goes to the moon. But deep work is painful. Your brain will scream for cheap dopamine. It will beg you to check Instagram just for 5 seconds. You have to train your focus like a muscle. You have to lock your phone in another room and sit with the discomfort of doing the hard thing. So, let's wrap this up. Your homework for today is simple. I want you to look at your life right now. Stop bragging about being busy. Being busy is a sign of a chaotic mind. Instead, ask yourself this one question every single morning. If I could only accomplish one single thing today to move my life forward, what would it be? Find that one thing, protect it, attack it with deep work. Let the other 80% of fake work burn if it has to. You are not a machine built to check boxes. You are the architect of your own future. Start acting like it. If you survived this long without clicking away, your attention span is already better than 90% of the internet. I'm drawing a better version of myself, one line at a time. This is BetterStick. Subscribe, and let's beat the system together.